I didn't jump on some of that stuff.
Question. Okay, so there's long been this rumor that you had to step in and sing a portion of Bobby Brown's song for him because he was kind of out of it at the moment. Is that true?
What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. If you haven't already, please be sure to check out my video essays on Ralph Tresvant's Living in a Dream, Bobby Brown's Mystical Magic, New Edition's Tender Love, and the album retrospective on New Edition's first album, Candy Girl. In each video, I dive into interesting topics not commonly known about the legendary supergroup. There are songs throughout music history that have went on to become timeless classics. In the 60s, The Temptations with My Girl. In the 70s, the Jackson 5 with ABC, and in the 80s, New Edition with Candy Girl, Cool It Now, and Can You Stand the Rain. Behind these artists were writers and producers like Smokey Robinson, The Corporation, Gamble and Huff, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and L.A Reid and Babyface, who would go on to create Bobby Brown's hits, Don't Be Cruel, Roni, Rock With Ya, and Every Little Step. Every Little Step, however, will be subject to rumors surrounding it in recent years. But did you know that Ralph Tresvant also sang on Every Little Step? In this video, I'll be discussing the history leading up to Every Little Step, as well as the speculation surrounding its recording. While you're here, please be sure to hit the subscribe and thumbs up button, and without further ado, let's get into it. In the late 1970s, L.A Reid and Babyface were making their way into the music industry. Reid beginning his career as a drummer with the Cincinnati funk rock group Pure Essence, and Babyface with the group Manchild. The two would eventually cross paths in 1981 after they both joined The Deal. They experienced more mainstream success with songs like Two Occasions, Body Talk, and Sweet November, releasing 3 albums with the group: Street Beat, Material Things, and Eyes of a Stranger, the latter two being written and produced by L.A Reid and Babyface. In the midst of their time with The Deal, they began working with other artists such as The Whispers, Midnight Star, and Shalimar. In 1986, Babyface would also take a break from The Deal and release a solo album titled Lovers, mostly written and produced by himself and L.A Reid. During a meeting with Universal, in addition to Pebbles, whom they would go on to write and produce her hit song Girlfriend, Bobby was also mentioned for them to work with. The impetus for their desire to work with Bobby was when they heard him on a radio show singing a live rendition of his ballad Girlfriend. Bobby would go for a vocal note that he could not reach, to which he then said on air, "I don't want to sing this song anyway." Much to their disbelief and shock that he would say that on air, they decided to work with him. His crazy and unpredictable energy made the decision easy for them. 2 years removed from his departure from New Edition, and fresh off the moderate success of his debut solo album King of Stage, he began working on his follow-up album Don't Be Cruel. Bobby Brown initially wasn't too enthused about working with the duo, and there were also disagreements about the vocal direction on certain songs. Among the songs they wrote for the album was Every Little Step, which was initially intended for Midnight Star, whom L.A Reid and Babyface had worked with previously. In an inflammatory article and interview, former New Edition manager Steve Machat recounted his involvement on Don't Be Cruel. Credited as management on the album's lead single, he alleged that Bobby Brown did not show up to a studio session to finish recording on Every Little Step, stating that in order for L.A Reid and Babyface to complete the song, Ralph Tresvant, who was also at the studio at the time, had to step in and finish the record. Finishing his statement saying, "Every Little Step has 2 singers, Bobby and Ralph. Go back and listen to the lead vocals, then listen to Ralph." In 2020, Ralph Tresvant was asked to address the speculation, to which he neither confirmed nor denied the fact.
Okay, so there's long been this rumor that you had to step in and sing a portion of Bobby Brown's song for him because he was kind of out of it at the moment. Is that true?
On what song?
Was it?
see, Ralph, hey man, don't start nothing. Don't start nothing.
Was it
he
all
said which one? Ralph said which one?
You talking about in concert? There's times where we all look out for each other. Where there's a part that we know he's not all the way up to part at night, and I'll come in and make sure I cover for him or Johnny do it. But are you talking about on a record?
Yes.
Yeah.
On your own. I think it was on your own.
No.
Or Every Little Step, or was it?
Was it Every Little Step?
My Prerogative or something. It was in the movie. It was in his movie.
And I've listened to the record, and I can almost swear that I hear your voice sing on the record.
There was one of those records that was supposed to be a New Edition record, and it was written by Babyface, L.A. and Babyface at the time. And so one of those songs went in and we demoed it. We had a demo to the song, and I don't know if they kept the vocals in there or not. But it wasn't one of those things that I was going in there to do the vocals for Bobby because he couldn't do them. It was, I think, might have been one of those things that it was just left on the track because it already sounded like everybody wanted it to sound. And he added his vocals on top of that. It could have been as simple as that. But I've never confirmed that one way or the other. You didn't hear it from me.
Upon my own intentional listening to the track, I can confirm that Ralph's vocals are in fact on the song. But contrary to Machat's claims, the vocals heard are background vocals, not lead vocals. Ralph's contribution begins and is most prominent midway into Every Little Step, particularly at the 1 minute and 55 mark. It is very common for other artists to have uncredited background vocals on other artists' records. Daryl Simmons and Karen White were also credited as background vocalists on the song. Songwriter and producer Daryl Simmons, who worked on Don't Be Cruel and will go on to work with Bobby on his third album, recounted his experience working on Don't Be Cruel.
Bobby Brown, because Bobby Brown was a badass boy, and Don't Be Cruel was tailored for Bobby Brown, and that's why that worked. Bobby was a bad boy. He was a bad boy. He was, Bobby was, I don't know how to describe it, but I remember the first day I met him, he came by the studio. We were working with the boys. Bobby came by. So get this guy, Bobby Brown, got kicked out of New Edition, and we want y'all to work with him. And he comes by the studio in Silver Lake, and he comes in the door, and he's just bouncing off the walls. And he's going 90 miles an hour. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll work with y'all. I'll be back. And I said, that kid right there will not live to see 30 years old. I mean, when I met that dude, and then working in the studio and waiting for him to get there, and his ass is late, showing up late. It was all Bobby Brown persona though. It had to happen that way. That's what Bobby Brown was. And so we just took all that energy and put it in a song, and then Bobby just let it out.
From a fan's perspective, the knowledge of Ralph Tresvant singing Every Little Step adds a new element to the song that was previously unknown. It should be seen as an Easter egg rather than a notion that undercuts the song or Bobby's performance. In the end, Bobby Brown's presentation and performance of the song is what took the song to the next level. Eventually released during the height of his popularity and Don't Be Cruel's success, peaking at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the Hot Black Singles chart, debuting what would go on to become his signature look, the Gumby. In the music video, Bobby raised the bar higher and set the hairstyle trend that hip-hop and R&B artists would follow for years to come. Years later in 2010, Funny or Die would pay tribute to the music video with a parody skit featuring Wayne Brady, Mike Tyson, and Bobby Brown himself making a cameo. Also in 2019, Wayne Brady would star on season 2 of the hit show The Masked Singer and would perform a cover of the song.
But your friends tried to tell you we were made to fall in love, and we would be together any kind of weather. It's like that, every little step I take, you will be there. Every little step I make, we'll be together. Every little step I take, hey, every little step I make. Y'all ready? Your friends try to tell you we were made to fall in love, and we will be together. together, any kind of weather. It's like that, girl. Every little step, we'll be together. Every little step I take.
When you take a look at the greats, they were highly praised and also highly criticized. Bobby Brown is no exception. Despite what any detractor says, there is no disputing that Bobby Brown is the forefather of modern R&B even to this day. Survey the R&B landscape from the 90s to today, artists, consciously or not, are following Bobby Brown's blueprint. I hope you made it to the end of this video that I believe was very necessary. Again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.